Well, according to the Federal Reserve, America's student loan debts total more than $1.5 trillion. The Fed also says that student loan debt is one reason why Americans can't afford to buy a home today. First Republic Bank did a survey of a couple thousand Americans with student loans commissioned and found out that 74% of respondents agree that it's a depressing thing, their student loan debt. In fact, half feel shackled to their current job just so they can pay off their loan. Well, what can be done? Is there any hope? My guest this morning on the Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline to share some additional survey results and discuss some options. James Herbert is with us here this morning. Good morning, James. It's Bert Barron. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
How troubled are you? And I'm pretty troubled about this. That student loan, having to deal with debt is one thing, but the emotional toll that goes along with this. We have a generation of people that are just feel like their lives are unable to get off to a kind of start that they wanted to simply because they're shackled by this debt. Did you find out about this during the course of the survey here, that's how a lot of people felt?
We did. With over $1.5 trillion of student loan debt affecting over 44 million people, we knew it was a big problem, but it was unfortunately worse than we feared, seeing that 3 out of 4 were depressed by it. We also found that actually 2/3 of people didn't feel like they could upgrade their living situation given their student loan burden.
Are there realistic goals that people should maybe set to manage with this a little bit better, James? What are some things, some goals that people could set?
The biggest option for people is to look how to refinance your student loans. There's a number of different options, and people should look online for student loan refinance to see what is available to them. They can understand what lenders there are, what the rates are, and what the terms and features are for them. If you're in one of our markets, like New Jersey, please come to firstrepublic.com and you can take a look. But otherwise, there's lots of good options online, and we encourage people to look to refinance. It's the biggest way they can save money today.
I mean, this is a big issue when you look at the impact that this has on other parts of the market, like, for example, real estate. I mean, these are people now that it's delaying them ability to buy a home and buy a permanent place to live or move out of their mom's basement or something simply because they're shackled by this debt, which is just sort of an overwhelming thing. And now it's impacting so many other different parts of our economy, including the mortgage world. This is a big problem.
It certainly is. We found that almost half the people didn't feel like they could afford to put down a down payment that they wanted to do. And a recent Fed study confirmed that one of the biggest issues for home ownership for this generation is unfortunately the student debt problem. So it's taken a real emotional burden. In fact, almost half the people felt like they would be judged entering a serious romantic relationship because of their student debt.
That's not good. That's really not good. James, was part of this here when you were doing this study here, when you talked to these thousands of people here with the debt issues here, were a lot of people just unaware about perhaps refinancing options or realizing that they had some things they could do? And maybe just a lack of education and a lack of knowledge by the people was maybe one of the problems.
That's right. You know, while most people felt frustrated, almost half actually didn't even know where to start, which is why we encourage people to look how to refinance. We've had people come to us and, in as little as a week or two, save hundreds of dollars a month and figure out how to get out of debt years faster. So we really do encourage people to refinance. With interest rates rising, the window is shrinking in terms of the best time for people to refinance.
Yeah, so the time to do this is sooner or later. Tax changes, James, anything that's happening now with tax codes in our country, does that have any impact on how debt is managed?
There are some laws that are being contemplated, which we would encourage for Congress to pass. 96% of our respondents would support a bill that made benefits paid by employers for employees on their student debts tax beneficial.
All right.
And
so
you rarely see that sort of consensus on anything.
Yeah, that's true. So there is help out there for people that are dealing with student loan. We're talking about $1.5 trillion. It would take you a few seconds to write down all the zeros if you actually wrote down what $1 trillion is all about. So there is some help out there, and maybe there's things that will make financial sense in the world of refinancing. So where would you tell people to go, James?
As we said, if it's in First Republic's markets, we'd encourage you to come to firstrepublic.com, as we have among the lowest rates in the country, starting at 1.95%. Otherwise, go search online for student loan refinance and understand what your options are. There's a number of great lenders out there that work for everybody, and you can start to see which ones fit your unique financial situation. All
right, good information. James Herbert, First Republic Bank, thanks for being here this morning. And if you're dealing with debt, with student loan debt, there's help out there. Just do a little bit of research, and it's something that it's overwhelming your life right now. There's no reason for it to. So, James, thank you for the time this morning, and great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.